A radio signal from another world. Sir?
It looks like he messed up. Hi, everybody.
I was caught in the pattern buffer for a second there. Hello, sirs and madams. It's your buddy, Admiral Teague. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Like, I clicked, and I don't know, whatever. StreamYards, like, look for another fun emergency later. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Admiral Teague's show. It is time to stream for vengeance, and this week, number one complaint is, what the hell happened to my Paramount upload? Finally, though, it seems to have gotten onto the Reddit. We'll see what happens with that. But we are up to, episode 3 of Marshall's, but you quit in the middle of episode 2, correct? That's where we're at still?
That's right.
You have that not gone back?
Not going back to that.
Is it because it's bad, or is it just because it's not Yellowstone? It's serviceable on the level of FBI, or?
Yeah, if stuff like FBI is the type of show you like, I'm sure it's just fine, but I hate that type of show.
Right, but okay. So I got you. Like, there's no Yellowstone-ness to this. The other Taylor Sheridan affiliated show with no Yellowstone-ness to it, and they just say it's finally. I read somewhere on the top line of the story, instead of buried somewhere inside where I didn't get to it, it says this is not a Yellowstone sequel, and I'm like, well, thank God. This is the Madison is. I don't mind the New York hating. Who cares, right? Like, there's money in it. I get it. I don't mind that at all. But it's just like the show is so slow that I am now up to the Madison episode 3 with minimal investment. I can watch about 15 seconds every 4 or 5 minutes, and nothing meaningful has happened. This week, like, our ribbled ring fun incident is a bunch of hornets sting her fine young daughter on the ass while she's trying to use the outhouse. They don't have plumbing, these New York people. It's Green Acres, Chirp.
Gee, that sounds like top-level writing. I guess we know what happened to the guys who are writing Starfleet Academy.
Kurt is in this. This is not that bad, but Kurt Russell's in it. So it's like, if you want to see Kurt Russell being Kurt Russell, the problem is he seems to have almost exclusively done a voice take on this. And for the most part, it's Michelle Pfeiffer back in her New York City apartment in a tub, just in the water up to like her shoulders, just staring into space. And like, you'll hear his voice and she'll just close her eyes. And then when she opens them, like, usually she closes her eyes at the Madison, at the fishing shack. and she opens them. She's back in New York, and you hear his voice. You know what I mean? Like that's their segue kind of thing. It's like she closes her eyes, and then it's like, women were meant to be gatherers, and men were meant to be hunters. And I'm like, if this was in service to something, I would care. And like all of a sudden, we do every little trick. Her bathroom has like an opaque glass wall that Kurt Russell just walks away from our point of view towards and stands in front of, away from us, where we can only see her. And okay, maybe it's artful that he's shadowy or whatever, but like then we get like one quick look at him, and he just kind of like looks in there. It doesn't say anything, and then we go back to shooting him from behind and listening to him talk about fishing again. We get a care package from people in town. We try to buy a funeral plot, and then we find out that, oh no, after we die, everybody's body may be relocated, to which I say, all right, so everyone's getting cremated and going into his favorite river. Am I right? I mean, where are our stakes here? I still don't know where our stakes are going with the Madison.
I don't see any so far.
Yeah, like how does what I told you?
We got a couple of super chats.
Oh my gosh! Hey, I didn't say hello, Sig Valderson, sir. Thank you so much for the $5 generous Greenlandian greenback super chat. We're so eager to get out here. We jumped out of the gate a couple minutes early, and we have a great crowd. Sig Valderson, $5 says, "Pop culture is dead, and Hollywood pisses on its corpse daily. Solution, an eldritch god. I don't have one to unleash. I have a full spread of bacon spock, which I feel that because I was late on reading the super chat, I feel that you've earned. You've certainly earned bacon spock. Here we go. Bacon Spock, ladies and gentlemen. That's Bacon Spock. You know what? And
Doesn't anyone see that this is wrong?
We're here to tell you that you will not see Bacon Spock ever again. This update brought to you by Sig Valderson. And I know we have another chat out there, but let's do this one real quick. We're going to circle back to it. But top line story tonight, NuTrek Year 1 is an absolute lie from the pit of hell. Germ?
Yeah, and for some reason, people are giving people reporting this some credibility, but I can't for the life of me determine why.
If this show happens, one of us will live with breast implants for a year.
Good luck with
that's
that.
That's how sure I am it's not happening. Give me also, if NuTrek Year 1 happens, I'm done. But we'll look for them to say it's going to happen until at least February of next year. If there's no way while he's dropping stuff, the earliest they could shut him up maybe would be Labor Day. That's the earliest I could expect him to shut up. Any extraordinary shutting up would be that they finally do break down and let him have his rights. This is what a full-blown Hollywood tantrum looks like. NuTrek Year 1 is an unviable show that no one wants. It is nothing but a threat. Germ?
I would tend to agree.
All right. And Ruby Hoove has bought 5 Admiral Teag gift memberships. Oh my gosh. Let's see who's got lucky enough to get those memberships. When we jump over to the channel, I should take to watching this exciting new YouTuber, Admiral Teag, and see what he's up to. Ruby Hoove, I want to thank you for being a member of my channel for 13 months. You are the best. And you have bought gift memberships for Clear Watcher Chad 9037, Dan Ben 07. I think I know Dan Ben. Zax, I definitely know. Hello, Zax. Hello, sir. The Mr. E. Hello, the Mr. E. It's good to see you. Ruby Hoove welcomes you, and Untamed Mando aboard as members. Welcome all of you, and hello to everybody who's out there. I should say hello. I've been a little bit aloof. I'm sorry. I feel like we have come out with a strong opening section. The hellos go down better. I want to say hello to Sig Valderson, Sci-Fi Sith Dan, The Real Head Case, Resolute Germ, Julio Scissors, and John the Beagle Dad, who've chimed in so far. Who else do I see out there in the chat? I hate that YouTube defaulted to live chat. You've got to go to, defaulted to top chat. You've got to change it to live. Thank you so much, guys. Like Sig Valderson's super chat. It helps. We've got a poll going on. Germ, do you see the channel poll?
I actually do not. No.
All right, I'll read it to you. You tell me which one your money's on. Okay, let's just say it's even money. All right, you have $100 in house money, sir. All right. Are you smelling the money
Okay.
in your mind? Are you running your hand across the top of the bill? Is it a crisp bill? Is it a well-used bill? How do you picture this 100 imaginary dollars that I'm giving you?
I'm going with 100 singles.
All right, so you're ready to go to the strip bar if this doesn't work out. All right, so here we go. Which will last longer, Germ? Jerry O'Connell's and Rebecca Romaine's marriage, or Iran by refusing to surrender? Just simple refusal to surrender.
Well, I'd go with Jerry O'Connell's marriage because he's not really an equal partner in that he would seem to be a piece of property.
He was exposed and looked bad in what might have been an attempt to get some publicity. He may, I don't know. Do you put this past Kurtzman to have him go out there and do something this dumb? Ruby Hoove brings you this news update. A member for 13 months and a purchaser of 5 Admiral Teag channel memberships. I thank you. And hello, Rocco the Brave. And Julio says, yo, I say, yo, you say, yo, hello, everybody. What's going on? We've got some stuff. I have some notes down here for the show. We definitely have some things we want to cover. One thing we talked about, and welcome to everyone who's watching, is Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Romaine. We've all seen it by now, but let's get some reactions. Jerry O'Connell on Bill Maher. Bill Maher is sitting there in like tinted glasses in a dark suit, just smoking away on the joint. He's 70 fucking years old. No one cares. He was, it was hip to smoke pot 40 years ago when he was 30. That's not a big deal at all. But there he is. He's just smoking away, smoking weed. It's acceptable now, whatever. And Jerry O'Connell tells the story of election night. First of all, what was your impression of O'Connell as far as his politics? Like, did you have any empathy for him politically?
No, he seems to be exactly what I thought he would be for someone in that situation.
Oh, wow. Hey, Sig Valderson. You know what? We have some media for that one. I forgot to play this. Sean created this one for the channel. And you know what? We need to do this one. Here we go.
Admiral Teag, incoming super chat.
Sir, we have to send for Albert Einstein.
Sir, he's very busy.
Sir.
Sir, that was so controversial. Sir.
Hello. Thank you so much, sir. Sig Valderson with a $5 Greenlandian greenback says, imagine a world where pop culture is dead. You don't have to do that. As that is reality, we currently live. That is the reality. Imagine a world where pop culture is dead. You don't have to do that, as that is the reality we currently live in. DEI and woke Marxist killed it. I would certainly wonder about that one, because I would say of all the shows I've seen from Star Trek, the most like openly communistic is hers. Strange New Worlds was just, you had to watch it. You haven't forgiven me yet, but we're still friends. I appreciate that. Let me ask you a question. Is that show, is it my delusion and is it Disparu's delusion, or are they soft pedaling hard communism? And they only think it's soft pedaling, like they're hard pedaling hard communism. Opinion, sir?
It seems to be very commie.
Like not better read than dead commie. We're talking like better read than anything else. Kind of, it's kooky communism. It's unacceptable communism. And it was like, it seems to be, I'm just going to say it. It seems to come from China. It smells like Chinese spirit to me. What do you think?
It smells like the West Coast to me. Seattle, Los Angeles, all up and down. This is what it all is.
But don't you get Pacific brand communism rather than the Atlantic brand that we get here in New York?
Yes, it's imported directly from the People's Republic.
Go ahead and say it. I don't care anymore. On the weekday shows, we have responsibility to entertain, and we live in the real world. I'm not going to do news. I'm not going to overly give too many opinions, but there's just certain things that sort of dwell in established fact. And to deny the fact and to do a show that was topical about entertainment without doing any kind of acknowledgement of the facts would be preposterous. And let's face it, we were hoping that we would be doing a little more talking about Paramount as far as Paramount Plus's Yellowstone Marshals, but it's just like, I'll check it in like 2 episodes, right? Like I don't really need to know the gang. Someone's gonna die, right? Someone's gonna get wounded or die. And at the end of the season, they will have found one layer of the onion is peeled back. That's my impression with Marshals.
Yeah. We
Let's
can
move
do
in that
a
direction.
end of season review is all you really need. And but as I said, it's FBI.
He put his son on the Jar Jar bench when he was at the Yellowstone last time. He was on the East Lease, which is the last remaining part of the ranch where Casey lives. And his son's like, we got like how many cattle? And he says however many they have. And he's like, so what are we gonna do? It's like, oh, I talked to Rip. He's gonna get us some hands. They'll be reliable. He's like, guess I'll have some work to do too, Pa. Guess you will, son. Boom, he's a marshal the next moment. I mean, that was as much Yellowstone as there was in this show. It didn't feel like it. You called Casey a shell. You know a lot more about this show. What's going on? He's just a cutout cop?
He is, on paper, what he was in Yellowstone, but pretty much only on paper. They completely changed everything up. The feel of the character, the actions of the character, so they can put him into a procedural.
This procedural could have had some Yellowstone connectivity, and maybe it will later, but they're pacing it out. Maybe we'll go back and binge it, and we'll find out that there was just a real serious dead spot, because the one piece, but this felt member-berry-esque, and it didn't feel material to the show at all, was our 2 biggest cold cases are his brother and his father.
Yeah, that I didn't get the impression they're going to develop that in any way, shape, or form.
No, it was just something that was bad about Casey was the way it came down. It was like Crockett, it was one of those complaints about Crockett. And oh, hey, I've got something on the long range scanners. Let's see.
Admiral Teag, incoming super chat.
After failing Ruby Hoove so badly before, I'm right on top of it now. Sigvaldison with a $5 super chat says, plus the universities are pumping out indoctrinated democratic socialists which flood Hollywood. The actors are mostly all bowing before the CCP. I still think there's still some good schools out there, but you're not wrong about this. And there was a red balloon communist organization at my college in the 20th century. The thing was, we were like fucking literally laughing at them. Germ. I don't know. You went to school. Did you have to deal with these people out there like handing out literature, thinking that they were something other than just people going to school who didn't want to shave?
I had to live with people being my mayor. Not just now, for the past 30 years.
You could maybe help me ease into how to do this then, huh? Is the first thing like they say at Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disney, abandon all hope, ye who enter here?
That does help.
I'm not crazy about Mayor Man, but you know what? Hello to my pal, the Dead Man. I'm crazy about you. It's good to see the touch rock of apathy. Did I say hello to Headcase? I know I said hi to Rocco. Wait, are we in a war with Iran? Not only are we in a war with Iran, but we have called it several other things as well. So you could say that we are in politics by other means with Iran. We are in aggressive negotiations with Iran. We're using the force on Iran. We're embargoing Iran. We've already beaten Iran. We've accidentally said a few things that make it so I don't know that Iran can surrender, but I don't know about them as a military threat beyond the Strait of Hormuz. But that can cause an awful lot of trouble. I'm sorry to do this one to you, but Germ, but did I not tell you that I thought that because you could probably see across the whole thing, and turns out you can, from Iran, that they would be able to find a way to cause problems on the Strait of Hormuz of the like dozens and dozens, if not hundreds and hundreds of miles where their side is higher than the other.
It helps that they put a call into Lloyd's of London and freak those assholes out.
Well, the thing is, they know which ships will get through because the Iranians will not fire on certain ships and only fire on others. So that's just the way that's going.
And
you know
they
what?
called Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London insures all those ships, and they threaten to pull the insurance if any of them go through.
What are you going to do? So the energy market is going to continue to climb, I guess, is the outcome of that one. I don't know. I'm not here to figure that one out, but let's talk about this one. The university's pumping out people with terrible ideas who can't write stories. Who is going to mentor these people? Kurtzman? Kurtzman is looking at, this is Kurtzman's off-ramp. Like, forget about our off-ramp from Iran. Smarter minds than ours are going to have to figure that one out. But Kurtzman's off-ramp from Star Trek. Germ and I have talked about this a few times. I don't know. I've never really heard you weigh in on whether you think this is possible. I feel that this is his goal, though, to be on the speaking tour in colleges and meet a lot of young boys and stuff like that, and be given like $5,000 to $10,000 just to talk for 90 minutes about how great he is at Star Trek and self-celebrate. I think that's his goal. What do you think?
I think he'd love to do that. And if he can get the rights to all of this Timu Trek he's been producing for the last about decade, he would love to shove that into Paramount's face.
You know what? I would say this. We have been. Let's talk about our friend Tachyon Pulse. And thank you so much, Sigvalderson, sir, for being a member of the Q Continuum, as is Ruby Hoove. Sweet of both of you. We're going to try to entertain real hard here, and we're going to try to make it worth your while. Some people concentrate on Disney. We work on Paramount Plus. The discount, the discount streaming service, which will, I guess, soon be a $23 streaming service on its own, unless they leave Paramount Plus on its own at around $10. By the way, do that. Unless they leave Paramount Plus on its own at $10, we're looking at various tiers of a full-on ride with that plus HBO in a train wreck mashup of streaming services, which would have created the sort of consolidation that streaming was supposed to avoid. And the sort of pricing that streaming was supposed to avoid. We're talking like $35 here.
I believe they're just going to dump everything on to Paramount Plus. Max, as it is now, is already a train wreck, so they're better off without it.
Here's a great idea for Max. You ready? Keep the shows that work. Memory hold the ones that don't, sell them. Sell them to people. And then rebrand. I've got a great new name. What do you think of this name for Max? You ready?
What is it?
Home Box Office. It's a thought, right?
Yeah, it might just work.
Julio Scissor says Joe McCarthy did nothing wrong. It's starting to look like there could be a case to be made for the idea that maybe all he did was go a bit too far in a few places.
Admiral Teag, incoming super chat.
I want to thank Sigvalderson. Plus, the actors are mostly Xeno lovers, people, and they're traitors to the Imperium of
Amen.
You know what? The free speech is, a cornerstone of our society, and opinions here are opinions. But you know what? Without necessarily embracing or endorsing this one, let's give this opinion its due. Sigvalderson has been very generous to this channel tonight and is a mighty member of the Q Continuum. You get to choose between John Delancey Q and Corbin Burton Q. You could be either one. You know what? We have, if you mean by Xeno lover, are we talking like that they love aliens? That's not what we're talking. We're talking like they want like massive immigration and no immigration laws.
I'll have to give you an education on 40K sometime.
Am I close?
Golderson,
Six, right?
It's pretty much all about the alien. So Golderson, you seem to be a good Black Templar man, if I'm right.
So if what we're saying is people shouldn't be allowed to come flooding into the US of A, I have no problem with that point of view. And I do believe that one of our greatest losses is that we can't have alligator Alcatraz. I understand that it's just not going to happen. It's too bad. I'm really sad about it, but could it be used for Amazon distribution?
Hell, if they can get those robots into some of the crappy little places they have up here, they can get them into anywhere.
It's a Warcraft 40K reference. Okay. I'm doing my best. Admiral Teag has to get caught up on the gaming. I have been doing some Utopia Will Fall. I've made it to day 5. What can I tell you? I'm not the greatest at that one, but I'm working really hard on it. I want to look at our poll here. People are seeming to think that Iran is going to easily outlast Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Romaine. Not a lot of faith there. Everyone's talked about it. Let's have our say. The video features a Jerry O'Connell looking. It was hard to judge his expression because Jerry's had a facelift, but it's loosened up a bit. Would that be a fair way to put the way Jerry appears now? He doesn't look terrible or anything, but he's had a facelift. It at one point was way too tight, but now it's loosened up, and he has a range of expression. Fair enough?
Yeah, that facelift came down a bit. He's looking human again.
Humanish. Yeah, his eyebrows are arched up too high. He's got some kind of weirdness going on. But the thing is, he won our hearts because he wore a Maiden t-shirt. So he walked in there and he was being all right. He was being all right. And Bill Maher was Bill Maher. So it's like you have to just deal with like whatever. Bill Maher is just all right. So like he has his good and bad days. I don't know how else to put it. Like I don't know how far apart Bill Maher and Michael Moore really are sometimes. I just don't. There are people whose jobs are to titillate political conversations. You could prefer one to the other or the other to one. I don't know how different they are. Germ, help me out here. Help me. I'm asking you. Help me, Germ. Help me.
I'm not really an expert at that, you'd have.
Is it me or these people were irrelevant until we started doing Paramount analysis and stuff, right? We're trying to get up to speed. Like, honestly, Bill Maher is kind of fucking irrelevant. Like, he's more relevant than me, don't get me wrong, but you know what? Like, I think I'm a little more authentic. I don't like sit around smoking weed with Jerry O'Connell talking about a former supermodel who was once on my wall, who now couldn't get into my apartment. We've seen how she looks these days. Like, what happened? Like, her look slipped just a little and she just like grabbed 2 forks and ran to the buffet table. Beer belly version of Una Chi-Reilly, the body positivity version of it, they seem to have edited Ghost of Illyria. She no longer punches down the wall. Yeah, I'm with Julio Scissors. This is the way it is, my man. Julio's correct. It's that Hispanic, that's a Hispanic way of cutting through the bullshit. You got it exactly right. Mars kind of a degenerate, but he's entertaining sometimes. Not sure you can't see him saying in YouTube, saying stop you seeing that? Is there a setting on YouTube to stop? Oh, what? My super chats? No, I fucked up.
No, I believe Real Headcast is trying to super chat, but I believe you
are you getting blocked?
That YouTube doesn't allow.
You have to use workarounds and then put what you mean in the next comment, and I will absolutely try to piece it together. I'll work as hard as I can, and I'll look over on X if it's not I'd make sure. I'll see if we can get this through. Like, there's usually a creative way enough to do it. Hey, Lombardi, what's going on? I'm not. Are you getting like the red X when you send it? Because I'm not seeing the ones from you. I am seeing super chats. I'm lucky enough to see that. I'll share what I'm seeing. I'll let you see what I'm seeing. I'll share that with you so you guys can get the idea. As we do that, what do we have to cover? Everything that needs to be said about the Madison seems to already be out there. This is a really show about the widow of a fisherman. Is there any other way to put it?
Yeah, it seems to be completely dead.
Don't see it might do well. There might. I don't know if there's an audience for this. I know that to me this show is boring, and that I don't much care about how Michelle Pfeiffer is going to get over Kurt Russell. I mean, he's cool. He's Kate Hudson's like stepdad. I guess that's cool. This is what I'm seeing. So like they do have some control over what you put in there. Like if there's ats and if there are hashtags, they try to suppress them. I had to. I even wrote out the word hashtag. It didn't let me do it on Pop Culture Breakdown. So I have had the same equally frustrating experience. Screenshot the message and send it to me on X, or post it on X at Team YouTube. Ask them why you can't give the super chat, because I couldn't tell you. I mean, are there certain words banned? There are words that would get me kicked off YouTube banned because they're only there unbanned so that I can get kicked off of YouTube. I don't know why the words are allowed to be used if they would get you kicked off. You get what I'm saying, right, Germ? Like there are certain words that if you don't ban them, you're done.
Yeah, there are stuff that YouTube will allow through, but they
Won't
will
allow you to
automatically crack down on if you actually read it.
Yeah.
And there's complete other words that YouTube doesn't allow you to write, which are seemingly completely innocuous.
Sometimes what happens is, this is how weird it is. There's an election in Europe. I think what happens is there's a snap election in France, so they're cracking down on URLs because France has like a 24-hour or 48-hour media blackout, 100% media blackout, where you're not allowed to report any politics before the election. And boy, that's something worth thinking about. I mean, I'm not saying we should do it, but I wonder what that must be like, huh? It must be a relief after the campaign, whether it's good or bad, huh?
Yeah, to a certain
Radioactive's here. I'm sorry, Germ, go ahead.
To a certain extent, it might be a relief.
Do you live in a state where you get pounded with like swings? Like I live close enough to get some Pennsylvania TV. Like, is there a close enough swing state, or are you in a swing area where they just keep litigating the election for like up until like the night after the polls are closed? The commercials are still running. It's like, why? Why'd you buy this airtime?
They do a little bit here, but I am in a deeply blue area, so there hasn't really been a contested even state seat here in quite some time.
I understand. So, my greeting, when you see Governor Xi, are you supposed to salute him, or you wave the red flag?
I believe there's an interpretive dance we have to do.
You heard it here first. The Seattletonians interpretive dance. All right, so
I see the problem, head case. If you added SIG in the super chat, that is something they would usually block.
we take a look at something. Buffy's on our list of things to talk about. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Willow Rosenberg looks pretty darn good. Yeah. In the pictures, I can't tell which are from when, but there are no bad pictures. So apparently she's aged well. None of them are old yet. I got great news for everybody. Like, you don't really even start to show that you're old until you're like fucking 50. It's going to be okay. It's not 1970 anymore. You can age a little more gracefully now. Okay. I'll take a quick look at what they did. Let's take a look.
Well, he's doing that. Yeah, I was surprised to see that most of those actors from Buffy, they're my age. That was scary to find out that they're still that young, or that I'm that old now.
Yeah, I saw, and I think I read the chats I'm seeing from SIG. Looking at this one. I'm unable to interpret one of them fully. I see you trying to. Oh, it's not what. It should have happened. I don't know why this one looks like it looks like Headcase's chat went through. You got thanked for it. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't show up. Let's take a look though. Let's see.
That is
That's a
more
first on this show.
YouTube fuckery.
All right. So what I can do though is I can honor the super chat like this. See, Admiral Teague has a workaround. I'm sorry. Hopefully, I, it all goes through. But whatever. It's more important to read the super chat. It says, "Here's even more funny. Here's even more money, lol, my dude." Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hopefully, YouTube will see their way fit to put it up there. I don't know how it got caught in the ether. Let me take a look at the other. I have one more interface I could look at. YouTube doesn't exactly like to make it easy.
Yeah, it's almost like they don't want to take a third of all of the money we're raking in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I see the ones from Sig at Ruby, and it seems to have withheld that one somehow. I don't have words withheld in that way. Your super chat would just go with a red X. It glitched out. They glitched out. I haven't seen that one in a good long time. I apologize. I did show the chat. I did my best with what I had. I apologize to my channel members for the YouTube fuck up. And think about this, folks. This is as good as it gets. We have the best software and the best streaming equipment. Could have gotten hidden by Theta chat the other day. I don't know. Could you, if you had hidden yourself, I wouldn't be able to see you now, and problems and bans from other channels don't carry over here. Fun time over at Theta's the other day. I think it was like 2 hours, just about enough. I cracked my 3 jokes and split. It was a fun time. It was going for quite a while longer. We have the Buffy show to talk about. Germ, have you heard this Buffy Chloe Zhang thing?
I heard that the reboot has been officially canceled.
But here's the thing. It exists.
Yeah, it's existed for quite some time. It's just a matter of getting everyone involved to agree to do it and on the same schedule.
It was made. It exists. It was turned down. There's a product. All right. So here's Zoe Zhao. I'm trying to find her picture. You're not going to thank me. You're not going to thank me. All right. So here's Chloe Zhao. It's protecting they're protecting my privacy right, Germs. You're not going to thank me. This kind of looks like, people like all of a sudden complaining about Zendaya seems like a luxury when you see Chloe Zhao. What do you think?
Looks like Zendaya forgot to take that treatment from Harry Mudd.
I don't know what this one is. This looks like an outright glitch. I would check and see if it just doesn't like go back to you. The other super chats were working. It could be like your bank doesn't recognize. Yeah, here's another thing. Like your money's not at risk because there's an FDIC, but like your bank could be getting a denial of service attack, or the people who run their servers. It could be fucking up on that. Like I just don't know. But that would be the one surefire way to find out if YouTube took money is check your bank. You'd probably find that one out right away with the app. What do you think, Germ?
Yeah, that is probably the best you can do.
If it's deducted that amount.
Yeah, YouTube gives us very little in the way of resources to help you guys out with any type of problems there is with the super chats or anything like that.
What happened with Germ's
customer service from pimps?
Germ had the worst problem. Someone tried to give him $40. Bird had the worst problem. Someone tried to give him $400. Remember that one? Or someone tried to give him $40.
Yes. like $40 or something, and
They fucked up and they sent 400.
yeah,
They didn't have it.
yeah,
Bird didn't want to take it. Bird didn't want to take it. They were like, please keep the 40 that I wanted you to have because keep the whole 40 because, obviously the Apple tax, whatever. So keep it all. And, just for the work of sending it back to me. And Bird, the best he could come up with was call your bank. And when all was said and done, they got back less than half. Like $190.
Yeah, the only thing you can really do in the situation like that is call your bank, dispute the charge, because literally on this end, the only way we can do anything about it is to like Venmo you the cash back.
And that one showed up in that one for Bird Prey showed up in the chat like 2 years ago. But yeah, the dog ate my super chat. I think you're safe because I've had something similar happen a few times at Doomcock where I didn't get charged. So I don't know. Usually though, I get like a red X pops up and it's like, no, it didn't send. I've seen all sorts of weird stuff. I wouldn't say call them. Check your app if it's real time. But hey, thanks a lot. But we appreciate the love anyway. It does. You know what? You can't put a price on it, and we're here to deliver some quality entertainment. So let's circle back to Una Chi-Reilly for a minute. Chloe Zhao has got her Buffy show, and then we've got Rebecca Romaine and Jerry Stamos. We set that. I said Jerry Stamos, Jerry O'Connell. We haven't set that one. We set that one up. We didn't really talk about it. What do you know about this one?
Not a lot.
All right, so he goes on Bill Maher's podcast. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but Bill Maher just sits there, smokes pot, and takes like fucking like fairly based jabs at you, depending upon how it's going. And you think so? This could be it too. Yeah, it could be what happened to his face. Go ahead, Jim.
Bill Maher basically hotboxes a guest for about an hour and a half.
Right. Yeah. So you've seen the show. This is the first time I'd seen the show. So it was an okay exchange, and O'Connell's okay. He's more okay than Will Wheaton from Stand By Me. He's less weird than Corey Feldman from Stand By Me. He's the guy from Stand By Me you want to meet, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, if you want to set the bar that low.
He was okay in some movies. We didn't hate him. He didn't have any really huge movie of his own, but whatever. He was in a bunch of stuff.
He was okay in Sliders.
He was okay in Sliders, and also like just constantly working throughout the throughout the 90s. He managed to stay employed. So he's also like his movie Tomcats, though not the greatest. You know what I mean? One Night at McCool's, is he in that one too? Not so great. But whatever, Jerry O'Connell, like we can relate to him. He's our age. We've seen him all our lives, blah, blah, blah. And, there he is sitting there. And he's like, no, thanks. I don't want to smoke pot. But when my wife smokes pot is the only time she'll touch me.
Yeah, if he's lucky.
Yeah, and we mean if he's lucky. Like we're rooting against him having the fucker. After seeing what she looks like now, whoa. Talk about like this is like with Rebecca Romaine Stamos. I hate to be mean because let's face it, she was one of the most genetically gifted people in the history of the world. Like these days, it just kind of looks like, especially that one episode of Strange New Worlds at the Wig. It's like the show wants her to look ugly, and they try to accentuate that she kind of has a gut. And she usually has a gut, and the show wants you to know it. They ruminate on it. They cut people's heads out of the camera frame. They cut people's feet out of the camera frame. You get a torso moving around because a lot of the time it's doubled. Either her double's fat or she's got a beer belly in a lot of those. I mean, she doesn't look good. And they make her hair look ugly. The character is a lesbian. They change their own lore to make her able to be a member of the Federation who's not a traitor. She would be a spy if the first story were still true. And I don't know if the first story you get isn't the true one. They retconned their origin on her. They just cut some stuff out of the episode where she does all the super strength shit. So apparently in real life, she doesn't have super strength, thank God, or Jerry O'Connell will be dead. But as the election night is going down, apparently his wife is smoking pot, is not smoking pot, and is not going to fuck him, or not vaping it. She has a vape pen for this one. She's not vaping weed. She's not going to touch him. And he's got 2 daughters with him. And he says, I live with 3, let's just say there's a lot of anger, was more or less the quote. I'm paraphrasing it as close as I can. He's like, what are you talking about? Bill Maher's like, what do you mean, man? And he's like, I mean that, like, on election night, when things started to turn against Harris, I sort of said out loud, well, what do they expect? There was no meaningful primary of any kind. There was no primary at all. It's been a while since the Dems did anything like primary worthy. And, it kind of looks like they only did this so they wouldn't have to give the money back. She's not very likable. She was never going to do any. And by the time he got done, he was being, quote, they were getting physical with him in a nonverbal way.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a very safe house for Jerry.
I mean, what's he supposed? If he defends himself, he's hitting a woman. It's not like he had his son there to like hold them back. Like he's totally outnumbered. It's just like, oh my God! Like the fury. Now I didn't realize they've been together so long that they have 18-year-olds. Congratulations on your atypically long Hollywood marriage. I guess he got some of the part of Rebecca Romijn's life where she was still pretty hot.
Yeah, and I guess Stamos took most of the crazy.
Not really. It's not like she's beating this dude up. Stamos ran for his life. Richie Sambora didn't stick around. Isn't that how it worked out? Wasn't she involved with that whole weird thing? I forget how that worked out. We do know John Stamos is in there. We do know that like she fucked him over, right?
Yeah, pretty badly.
What was it? One of his buddies? Did she ruin his friendship or something? Or she got into his career as a musician or something? What did she do to him?
I believe she damaged his career quite badly. He was on
not
the
really
uptick.
out there anymore.
Yeah, he was on the uptick, and then, after he was done with her, he was pretty glad to just be hanging out in the comedy clubs with Bob Saget.
John Stamos plays, I think, guitar for them, but you're right. It was more fun. Wow, that really says something. Although John Stamos, like poor John Stamos, he said that like Rebecca Romijn broke his heart, and I can understand why. It was really painful for him and embarrassing in public. But the other thing is that, like, before the scandal broke with her, do you know who he said that his one who got away was, Germ? Do you remember that Hollywood gossip in his book?
I don't
like who he said
remember
the
that
one who, he said that she was like, he thought that he could have had a really authentic and honest relationship with her, and they dated a little while, but it didn't get serious enough. And he's always wondered in the back of his mind what would have happened if he'd been more serious with, because she seemed so authentic and honest, Lori Loughlin. Aunt Becky.
Well, all in all, bullet dodged.
Well, I mean, it looks kind of just like he got a different caliber bullet, depending upon what you think. Like he went from TV star to like swimsuit model. So, okay, like he just got hit with a higher caliber shell, right? But
Yeah,
like when he finds out at the end of the day,
yeah,
he gets
federal
redemption.
charges.
Redemption. Yeah, you got the supermodel, you got the swimsuit model, and she had a great face. And she was the one making all the money at that point. You got to pursue your other hobby and open up a new career. And open her up while she was at her best. And then at the same time, you've got, this disaster happened to you that kind of like really nerves you. The other thing that happened was his Beach Boys wasn't the most respectable Beach Boys. It was Mike Love alone, and the Wilsons didn't want him to do it. And Brian Wilson went out on tour. And also, it's really, really hard to find Mike Love's music on YouTube anymore, unless it's something he wrote himself. The Beach Boys went after him. This is what's going on with Star Trek, too. It's interesting you guys bring it up. Here's something we can all understand. It works. It's called intellectual property rights, folks. The Beach Boys own those songs. And although he was in the song as a player, Mike Love at most wrote like 1/4 or 1/5 of it. If they got writers' rights for it, they bought some songs too. Brian Wilson did a lot of the writing, but if he wrote them, whatever. And then anyone can kind of go out and play your music live unless someone wants to litigate to stop you. I think that's part of free speech. Like if Germ and I start a band and we play a bunch of different music that we didn't write, that's one thing. That's like a wedding band. If Germ and I go out there and call ourselves Smooch and we wear kabuki makeup and we only play the music of Kiss, that's brand damage, and Kiss has a case against us and they will come after us for it. So like the Beach Boys took down the music of Mike Love because it was performed too poorly, and Stamos wasn't always with that band. He was with them when he wasn't doing he still was making money doing like 3 Hallmark Christmas movies a year and stuff like that. He gets his $5 to $8 million income every year off of Hollywood. He seems to be doing a lot better than, say, Dean Cain, who we like a little more. What do you think, Germ?
Yeah, him and Dean Cain are pretty much on the same level now.
Yeah. Oh, but Julio knows the deal. Mike Love is a total jackass. He has like 35 children. He doesn't support any of them, and he's not in any of their lives. None of them like him, and none of his brothers or none of his cousins, rather, from the Beach Boys will talk to him. And one of the funniest things of him doing the Beach Boys songs was when he used to ruin them by playing the saxophone over his band. And he was lucky when Stamos came and played with him. He had to have one of his better touring bands for Stamos to dare to go out there, because Mike Love was just kind of like sucking up all the money, calling it the Beach Boys, and he was able to sort of carry on against copyright law. And is Love with us anymore? I think it's kind of like he's at least done from which I thought Stamos played the guitar. I know this. He's legitimately respected as a musician. Is it drums, Germ?
He played the guitar on the TV show. I don't think in real life.
It's okay. I think what it is he's a multi-instrumentalist, right?
Oh, I'm sure he has skills across the board, but primarily he was a drummer.
Okay, yeah, and he played the drums on for the Beach Boys. All right, so hey, fair enough. He's good enough to play the guitar too. Like I've seen his ability to play on that one. He is performance level. I saw Stamos with the Beach Boys last year in Redondo Beach. So hey, who's not going to know? John Stamos has all the goods, all God's favor when it comes to relationships. It all works out. He's a legit good drummer. He played the drums for the Beach Boys. He may play guitar too. I don't know. He definitely plays guitar. He played the guitar for the Beach Boys. He played the guitar last year. Yeah, I think the deal is John Stamos comes on stage. He gets to play guitar. He gets to sing. And if he wants to go play piano and drums, he gets to do that too because he's John Stamos. And also because he can pull it off. Sound about reasonable?
Yeah, he at least can fake it for pretty much any instrument out there.
Hey,
I'm sure if he had a kazoo and a clarinet, he could at least look like he's playing it.
He's on the Dromio channel, says Radioactive. Hello, sir. Sir, if you really want, I forget what IIRC means.
I'm not sure.
If it really counts. Stamos played bongos on the Kokomo video. That I didn't know. I didn't know he was in the Kokomo video. I know that one was written by the guy from the Mamas and the Papas. I know Papa John Phillips is the songwriter on that one because Brian Wilson wasn't working with them anymore. Brian Wilson did come out with his own thing finally. I believe he was legit.
Yeah.
I believe he could probably legit do both. That's the thing. He probably did play both or play drums that night. Who knows? You don't tell John Stamos no when you're Mike Love. You only have the most tenuous claim to being a Beach Boy. You're not one of the brothers. And you don't have like the other guys who are famous for their voices backing you up, including there was guys who were also known, I believe, to back up the Beach Boys too, right, to help them out while they did their other stuff. So it's pretty deep vocally, and you don't have any of that. And talking about yogurt on the plane, I don't remember. Was it the Chobani commercials? Wasn't John Stamos side quest over? Let's just say he's great. He's great at what he does, and he gets to make money off TV too. And yeah, he did get all the genetic gifts. I won't have any bad words spoken about Blackie from General Hospital. That's where I draw the line. You know what? I'll say this in Blackie's defense. Why was he left? Wasn't Blackie left rotting in jail for something he didn't do, and they never resolved the storyline? Isn't that how they leave off John Stamos? Or does he come back and show up because he was so famous, and they just like magically make that story go away? I guess I think that was on in the commuter lounge in college. I think I saw some of that storyline. He was done.
More of it
Okay. Oh, here's the deal. Blackie is in jail, but John Stamos, the person, came there and reminded everyone of Blackie. He went to Landview. Is it Landview? Right? Is that the name of the town? But back to Jerry O'Connell. He still, as the election starts slipping away from the Democrats, Jerry O'Connell says to his wife and daughters, well, what do they expect? She wasn't a legitimate candidate. There's a lot of talk about this was just being done so they didn't have to return the money. 107 days slapdash effort, and there wasn't a lot of legitimacy, and no one liked her, and he got physically attacked, and then he looked unsettled. He didn't smoke pot, but the next day he announced that he's only going to do his fantasy football podcast with friends now. Which, hey, fair enough. Fantasy football, everyone needs that.
Yeah. I would recommend to Jerry O'Connor, you can go to a beaten spouse's shelter.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if he just went reality TV and bought like a camera with him and went to like the beaten spouses shelters? Like, my wife threw me out. Yeah. Well, her and my daughters beat me up. And you see like the LAPD booking like Rebecca Romaine and the daughters for like domestic violence. I mean, he must have a Nest Cam in the house. Could you imagine that? So they flew off the handle so bad. They've got such bad TDS, or like, I've got to believe it's TDS. Even her, and what she did, I don't find it possible to buy into the idea that she was infatuated with the idea that she would have Kamala Harris for president. She was just scared of Trump, or is she just that cool? She might be that dumb. You tell me.
No one on this planet was that in love with Kamala Harris. Not even Kamala Harris. And if anyone could be, it would be her. She had enough boxed wine to do it.
And she had enough different versions of herself to try to be taken by, and she couldn't make any of them work. She was one of the worst candidates to ever run for office anywhere ever. And, since we're talking about her, we've got some media for that. Here it is, Germ. You know what it's going to be. The most, would you say that there's ever been a more just anemic, limp, ineffectual, and failed gesture in the history of the politics of the United States of America than what we're about to see? It's just the most failed gesture and the most failed visual, along with the most failed message ever.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
Here we go.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
I on the behalf of the people of New York, I apologize. As far as Charles Amy Schumer,
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
what's wrong with you, man? You're clogging up one half of this country's political discourse. I think also just Bill Maher told Jerry O'Connell he should leave because he's not safe.
I doubt he is safe if his wife's responding that way to an election.
Do you think he was exaggerating it for humor, or have you seen the video?
I have seen the video in the last couple minutes, and he looks
He doesn't
legitimately
look like.
afraid.
Yeah, he looks legitimately concerned. If not afraid, I don't know about afraid, but he looks like he's concerned that he might get yelled at again about this one, that he's going to hear it.
He
But
has
he
that
also,
dead look in his eyes that I've seen in people before, right before their spouse is dragged off to prison.
you got to watch the whole thing because, like, it goes from dead eyes to desperate eyes. Like, his eyes start to dart around. He's looking over at Marv for confidence. He's like, blow some of that over here, man. Really, just like blow some of that smoke over here. And he's like trying to stay calm. And he's like, and it's like, I gave to the campaign. And he's like, you gave the campaign, buddy. And he's like, my wife and daughter still beat me up. I don't get it. And it's just like, then he's getting dragged by other Dems for being MAGA now. Like, what the hell? Like, it seems to me that he made several reasonable statements that anyone who wanted the best for the Democratic Party would have probably said, right? She sucks. This was a dumb idea. And she lost because we could see it coming.
Yeah.
And he had the benefit of being right in real time, right in front of them. There was the proof. What happened? It was just another man, like, celebrating a man to them, and they wanted to hurt a man to get even with men.
Yeah, pretty much that's how it goes out here.
That is crazy. I've heard it's kind of particularly Californian. So this is the vengeful eighth wave feminism that we see on shows like Star Trek Academy and She-Hulk.
Pretty much, that is the way it goes out here.
You're telling me that there's people that live this way?
We have at least 3 states that live that way.
When you say like live that way, I got to ask you what you mean. Like, is there actually people who have to sit at their home in fear? They don't just get up and leave. Like Jerry O'Connell can split. His daughters are 18. If they can't even let him talk his mind, he says he feels like he has to walk on eggshells at home for expressing his views. And here's the thing: he's merely a moderate who could see the future, who pragmatically predicted accurately what was happening in real time and got beat up for it. If they're all about kill the messenger and they can't learn and grow from it, first of all, if Kamala Harris runs for anything again, she's going to lose. She was one of the most deeply unlikable, unidentifiable people in American politics. The election was months ago. This is not political news. This is not, the election itself showed us this. She was one of the most deeply unlikable. She was, if there were the last 4 most unlikable, if out of the last 3 elections, and we took all 6 candidates, now granted 3 of them are the same, she was in the bottom 2 among likability of candidates to run in the last 3 elections. What do you think, Germ?
I think the only person or the only people that really miss
only
her,
Hillary was tied with her.
Yeah.
Like as far as likability. Like Sleepy Joe, like he just wasn't around to annoy anybody. Like out of sight, out of mind. She was just out front trying
people thought he was weakened at Bernie's the entire time, and I still haven't seen any evidence that he wasn't.
There's now a lot more evidence that he possibly was, and it's very much going to hurt the way this country functions for a long time that we had both parties put one over on us. You know what? Let's see. Anyone with XY chromosomes who voted for Kamala should be exiled to Greenland, but then we would just be letting them back into America. Is that Dr. Narcissus from Boardwalk Empire on the left? What picture was I showing? I don't remember. I don't think it was him.
I don't believe so.
All right. So next question, I guess like in closing the Jerry O'Connell story, his Star Trek show's over. Hers is wrapped. She knew it was over. It was over when the election was lost. It's just frustration that like being an older woman who looks like haggard the way she does now. And like she's had face surgery and stuff. So it's not like she doesn't care. She looks haggard. and I don't know what the hell's going on. If she's got a problem or if it's rage or whatever that's unbalancing her. But one, in Star Trek, everyone's acting is for shit. We'll see what she does as Mystique. Two, Michelle Pfeiffer whipped herself into shape, so maybe anyone can, but she has looked particularly terrible most of the time as Una, and it is one of the harshest, meanest characters we've ever seen. And now it seems like real life Rebecca Romijn is doing this kind of stuff. Is she also a communist? I mean, what the hell?
Communist, cultist, just plain wackadoo.
You're friends with
It's all
Jerry.
real the same thing out here.
If you were friends with Jerry, what do you tell him?
You can stay at my place for a couple weeks while we get the restraining order.
Yeah, you need to go to the cops first, right? Jerry, go to the police right now and file for divorce. Michelle Pfeiffer's face always been beautiful, skinny through her whole career, way too skinny. Was there something going on with the costume then in Ant-Man and the Wasp that made her look kind of like not fat, but like
Frumpy.
she had like a stomach and frumpy? She doesn't look that way anymore. She
It
does look
was-
great in the Madison. I'll give her that.
It was mainly
So
the
beautiful, young.
costume in Ant-Man. Because it
And
was
also,
maybe 2 sizes too big and it was ripped up.
and Michelle Pfeiffer was also only like 60, so she wasn't quite old enough for them to deem to be allowed to be sexy at that age. Still too young. You can't objectify any woman who isn't pretty old. Michelle Yeoh is 62. Ming-Na Yen, 62. Now, while they've been good looking for a while, is pretty relative. Like they say Demi Moore still looks gorgeous, and then you look at her and it's just like, He-Man! You know, I mean, what the hell? It's Skeletor.
Well, these people have different beauty standards than normal people do. I think they're
Michelle-
judging more off of the parts that their surgeons just put on.
Okay, Michelle Pfeiffer movies. Which one do you like better, Lady Hawk or Married to the Mob? She's hot in Married to the
Batman
Mob.
Returns.
Okay, not too many Michelle Pfeiffer movies in Germ's past. She's angry that because of her beer belly, her Mao jacket had to be let out. Says Tetrarch. You know, maybe that's what it is. She has this Strange New World show is basically her show, right? So what happens is, and let me put your comments back up. What happens is, like Una pops up, and like she's on the bridge, and she's like, you know, the bosun's whistle will sound, and the camera will cut away to the view screen. And then in his office, rather than on the screen, because that's too expensive, we'll see Black Admiral Man. You know who Black Admiral Man is, Germ?
I
He's
used to
from
know who
Cast.
it was.
It's Captain. It's former Captain April. It's Admiral April.
Oh yeah, they swapped him.
Yeah, he was British and white, wasn't he? He was white for sure. Wasn't he also British in TOS?
I'm not sure about that.
He might have had a British accent. All right, so they race swap him, and what happens is he's like, Pike, it's like this. Everyone's gonna die. If you don't do this, like this entire system will be wiped out. It's gonna be the worst thing ever. It's Tachyon 55 pulsing sensation nebula 3 with Noose Bracca and some bad profanity. And he's like, he looks like Pike when we cut back to Anson Mount looks incomprehensively at the screen. The camera then cuts around the bridge, and what we see is Ortegas look over at Nuhura, look over at the other chick who looks over at Una, and then Rebecca Romijn rolls her eyes and looks back at Ortegas, and then like we see all the women at once just sort of like, and then they woman explain what just happened to Captain Pike. And he gives them an order, and they tell him that he's wrong, and they tell him what he should do, and he always goes with it. Sound about right? That was basically any episode with a story.
Yeah,
Because
that's
some of them
about
had
it.
no stories. See, some episodes had no stories. But when they did have stories, they started with Black Admiral Man calling in the orders. And what happened was white guy can't understand it. White women and black women have to explain it to him. And Pike is as dumb as a fucking rock. Sound about right?
Yeah, that's about right. And what makes it even more frustrating, I don't entirely blame these actors for it, because unless they're in the scene directly on camera together, yeah, they have no reference. They don't even know what's being said back to them because they don't have someone even reading back lines of the person they're supposedly talking to.
They don't know what they're going to be hearing yet because it hasn't been written. Germ and I have talked about this a couple of times. We talked about it earlier today with the doubling on the Madison. So Kurt Russell and Michelle Pfeiffer are on scene at the same time. And if you can't pull that off for network and Taylor, how much have they cut Taylor Sheridan's money by? And what they're like, you can only have a little bit at a time. So Taylor Sheridan's doing his very best to try to weave a narrative with this. But like, then we have people like Kurtzman who don't know what the fuck they're doing. And we've got these two characters woven together. Anytime we have people in NuTrek, the way the overlapping dialogue goes with the overlapping cuts and the snap quick talk, one is left to think that Alex Kurtzman's model of a perfect movie is The Fugitive. Sound about right, Germ?
Yeah, that's about right.
How would you sum up Alex Kurtzman dialogue?
Dare you?
There you go.
No, seriously, give us a couple of words of your own about what you think about his dialogue, though. You've had to watch.
Monkeys on 1,000 typewriters can punch out a more coherent script than what Kurtzman is putting out.
I think it would also be safe to say that those monkeys could only do better and never do worse.
Yeah, that's a safe assumption.
We have more confidence in any kind of monkeys, macaques, rhesus primes, gibbons. We don't care. Any kind of them could do a better job than Kurtzman. We see terrible work being cranked out by his factory of dullards. And like, it's just been a more watered down, less qualified group of people every time. With Kurtzman Trek, they just have people speaking, and then someone looks back, and then there's more speaking, and then someone looks back again, and like someone's shot from behind while they hear a whole bunch of stuff, and the person, while someone's off camera, they're talking, and they're focused on the person who isn't talking, and like, so like Jerome will be talking, I'll just be like, get a lot of that in NuTrek, don't you?
Yeah, it's
cut.
It used to be frustrating, but now it's just fuck this guy.
It's part of the laughter that like ensues as you see this show just slowly falling apart. And you know what? We've made it over an hour into the show, 73 minutes. I think it's time to deploy our best asset. Here it is. This usually keeps people sticking around for the last half of the show. We got exactly in the middle of our show now, just about ready to tell you the second half. We got some great stuff. Let's talk about Buffy. We talked about Chloe Zhang for a moment. We showed her picture on screen. She looks like she sleeps inside of a dirty ashtray. What do you think of that?
That may be a little clean, but
she's got a wacky look.
Often.
She's responsible for the most failed Marvel movie of all time, I believe is still the case. The Marvels, the Marvels beat out her movie is the Eternals, right?
I believe so.
But the Eternals still fails bigger because it had a full budget. They cut the budget on the Marvels.
Yes, Marvels had a full budget, but I don't believe it ever actually got a full theatrical release because of the whole pandemic stuff.
Eternals, you mean?
Yeah, Eternals.
Eternals had a full budget. Let's not make any excuses for it. Other movies made money. It failed. It failed bad. They weren't able to pick up the pieces. No one's tried. she's been on a screen about this ever since. She's angry about everything, it seems, whenever we see her. And they agreed to let her do this Buffy script. If her previous work is any indication, her stuff sucks. Her stuff sucks. What would be the good Chloe Zhang project?
Something where she's not really involved.
Maybe she could help decorate our someone's apartment well. I don't know what to tell you. So the Buffy script leaked. I didn't read the script. I read the leaked summarization of the script. The show introduces a new Slayer, new characters, new vampires, a new vampire plot. It takes place in this town called New Somerville or something. And
New Sunnydale.
Okay. And at the end of the show, Buffy, and by the way, the whole show is going to be about like a modern audience seeing like New Sunnydale versus old Sunnydale. So there's going to be a class struggle there. Instead of being a suburb, it's going to be a class struggle there. And what's happening is at the end of a couple of episodes, we would have seen a woman walk into work and sit down at a booth in a cubicle, and the camera would have zoomed in, and it would have been Buffy. So showed up at the end of her own episode, like pilot episode, which you would assume is a 2-part movie for streaming purposes, right? 2 episodes long.
Yeah.
This movie is going to see the light of day because it's been made. It exists. So somebody gave her the speculation money as an independent filmmaker. And I'm just going to say it. Sarah Michelle Gellar has been nothing but cool about this, in my opinion. She goes, look, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. But at the end of if the apocalypse come, you can still page me. And she was very cool about it. And she's just like, whatever. And then she warned the fans not to read the script. I guess she lost the thread of having any control over this project when it started going sideways. And that Sarah Michelle Gellar herself might not be a woke maniac.
I don't know. She's been out of Hollywood for a great deal of time.
Because she's married to her husband, raising her children, living a normal life with all of her money. She's married to Freddie Prinze Jr., and they're real happy for a long time, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been together for, I believe,
25 years?
25 years. Yeah, 25 years now. And
they both she looks great. She looks fantastic. She was as nice as could be. Go ahead.
Before this, the last anywhere close to major project she did was voice work on Star Wars Rebels.
And voice work on Robot Chicken. She's friends with Seth Green. All right, so she doesn't really work anymore, but she's a nice chick. She took it on the chin and went out there and made the announcement rather than letting Chloe Zhao do it, which would have been horrible, right?
Yeah.
It would have been scorched earth.
Yeah, best fans get it from someone they actually don't want to go after with torches,
pitchforks and torches. Here's the other thing. Also, Buffy's not like Sarah Michelle Gellar is invested in making the money as signing autographs as Buffy. If she saw this thing was going sideways and she didn't like it, she's smart enough and independent enough not to go along with it. If she was just like, I'll see where it goes, I'll take your money, and I don't like it, and then it flamed out and she had zero enthusiasm anyway. She's like, I was in one scene in a cubicle. What the fuck do I care? She's like, I'm sorry, guys, it didn't happen, but I still care about all of you, like, which is much better than having Chloe Zhao or Zhang or whatever go out there and flame the fans and blame them. And the one thing Sarah Michelle Gellar said that is being debated, I don't really think it matters, is one of the executives says he didn't like Buffy, he didn't watch the show, and it wasn't for him. To which I say, more power to you, bro. You said it. I mean, you should have been taken off the job right then and there, or you should have bought. I mean, apparently he bought his concerns up top, and he's like, I don't like the show, and it's not any good. Now, none of us think the guy was right to keep running her down if that's what happened. And maybe that's a little improper in a meeting. I don't know. We don't greenlight multi-million-dollar shows, but if they presented this to Netflix and the Netflix people just like, one guy's like, look, I'm not qualified to judge it, and another person was like, I don't like it, and the majority of people there, enough to say no, said we're going to pass. Well, it's not getting developed any further. That iteration of Buffy would seem to be dead. There might be no sense in making a movie. We'll see if she can get it released. It'll release and be some sort of Elseworlds Buffy if it's anything, but Sarah Michelle Gellar, what did she thank her? She was graceful all around. She thanked Chloe Zhao for letting her play the character, but that's it. She didn't go into how much she loved her vision. And I don't think she expanded on how great the show was going to be either, did she? She's just like, sorry, guys.
No, she basically ignored her and addressed it solely to the fans and sorry, this isn't happening, and moved right along.
Sarah Michelle Gellar's first role was playing like Erica Kane's like 10-year-old niece on General Hospital. She's been around Hollywood long enough to understand what's going on. If she saw this shit going sideways and was getting handed money, she wasn't going to make waves. But once it got torpedoed by Netflix, what is she going to do? Burn her goodwill going after the fans? She's not. So Sarah Michelle Gellar, smarter than most Hollywood celebrities. I got to say, I love hearing that.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Both her and Freddie Prinze Jr. have been relatively smart over the years, not going after fans through their various projects and just taking what they can get. They have the same approach that Walter Coggin has for Chekhov, and just the big paydays are nice, but your bread and butter is the conventions and going and signing 200 autographs and taking another 75 pictures every Saturday for the rest of your life.
Which I have openly spoken about being Sirach Lofton's reason for collaborating on the script for Starfleet Academy. That he was trying to like defang it as much as he could. It's like, no one's going to do this. No one's going to do this but me. No, I'm your only hope. No, I'll only do it under these circumstances. Look, you need me. Like, he played his card as much as he could. It's like, I'm not losing this into like he's seeing Robert Picardo getting like Rotten Tomatoes thrown at him. So he knows. Yeah. So head case is right. Buffy was about hot chicks. It was also about the Whedon-esque writing, which everyone got infatuated with. I found the Whedon-esque writing to be too fast-paced and annoying, although he did mix comedy and drama well. His pace was a little too fast, and he, in his pedanticness, was sometimes a bit annoying. He was good for serious television, but like, I don't know. That Avengers 1 movie wasn't so great. What do you think of Joss Whedon?
Everything Joss Whedon ever did seemed to me like drinking Four Loko. Just
too
screwed
quick.
Up. Yeah, you're screwed up, but there's something pushing you forward, and it's not necessarily a good thing.
Honestly, it was so 90s. It was like a fucking like chugging down a 40 ounce and doing a rail of cheap cocaine. It was good, but like it might have been a moment. Did we enjoy it? Yeah, we ran down the streets with the guys in Wolves of Wall Street like idiots. But like, do we want to do that again now at this age? And do we want to see her do it again? We might want to see her do it again, but not the way that it was done before. We don't want it to be replicated with someone else. Let's see. The new Buffy actress was supposed to be Ryan Kira Armstrong. I believe that's the name I heard. I think you're correct on that one. I looked at the girl. She was beautiful. Yes, David Cullen says Buffy only shows up at the very end of the last episode as a businesswoman. Yup, that's I heard that from other people than Dave Cullen too. So that's what's out there. That's the accepted leak, and that would seem to be true. My money is on that was going to turn out to be true. What do you think of that one, Germ? They Rise of Skywalker her.
Yeah,
well, not Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, Force Awakened her.
Yeah, that's probably what they were going to do with her, because these people are vindictive, and anyone that even tried to maintain a good relationship with the fans over the years, they have the innate need to try to destroy them.
or all the new characters sucked, and the end of episode 1 was just a little too late to introduce Buffy, and she was going to have an active role, but since it only got that far, Sarah Michelle was like, "Fuck you," and something on the long range.
Admiral Teag, incoming super chat.
We have a very generous $5 United States super chat from my friend Wes Cagle, who says, "I love it. God help me, I do love it so. More than my wife." Yeah. You know what? We have media for that. Let's have a little patent. You can Germ, is there you were the one who told me this. I've counted on you. You're right about this one. People love Patton, don't they?
Everyone loves Patton.
You really can't have too much Patton, can you?
No, he was taken away from us too early. He would have made a president.
He would have made a fantastic president, Patton. He also would have made a fantastic ruler of Russia. But, like, let's have a little Patton right now.
All my life, I've wanted to lead a lot of men in a desperate battle. Now I'm going to do it. I am going to be allowed to fulfill my destiny.
The part where I'm riding the horse, of course, I would be on the holodeck of the ship, right, Germ? You get that part. Yeah, that's on the holodeck. I love Patton on the white stallion. I mean, is that the height of arrogance or what? And thank you so much, Wes Cagle. I love it. God help me, I love it so. That's right before he, right after he's kissed a soldier and shown his plan to his next in command, where he's like, right now, the weakness in the German army is here. This will change very quickly. And for the lack of a few miserable gallons of gas, we could be in Germany tomorrow. We could be in Berlin by the weekend. You know what? But for lack of a better contract with Kurtzman, we could be rid of him and beginning the cleansing process now. Instead, he's going to take a couple more dumps on us before we can fix Star Trek. A Star Trek movie this year, while there's still Kurtzman Trek coming out, is fucking outright crazy. I hope the Ellisons don't do it this year. Germ?
Yeah, it's not. Last I heard, it was very late 27, early 28.
Everyone's saying hello to Wes Cagle. Jamie thanking Wes Cagle for me. Thank you for thanking Wes, Jamie Lynn, and it's good to see you. Thank you for being here, my friend. And Headcase saying hi. And Julio says, I love the Prussian flag. Yes, it's a great little symbol there. It is a fun little thing. It's the flag of the World War I German Republic. They just adopted the Prussian flag. I think they may have put the Habsburg coat of arms. I'm sorry, the Hohenzollern coat of arms over the flag of most of it, because it was supposed to be like them in Austria duking it out. And the Austrians, the reason why the Prussians come to have hegemony over Germany, you know why they pulled it off, Germ?
Why?
Early bullets. They didn't have to load muskets. They had early carbines, really early ones. They were called needle guns.
Well, good for the Prussians.
I believe that Patton would have been the same president as Andrew Jackson, because I was Andrew Jackson before I was Patton. Wallace Lang says, hell, Admiral Teag, I believe that Sarah Michelle Gellar is loved too much by the previous generations to be accepted by the current generations of woke idiots. There is a good degree of truth in what you're saying as far as the possibility is high that it's true. There does seem to be one piece of hope in this, is that even left-wing podcasters have now downgraded the amount of people who identify as trans to 0.01 down from 1.1. So that's a devastating fall. Like, it's like 60 people, but a devastating fall of the nationwide number of trans identifying individuals. Germ, what do you think of this inspiring and unbelievable revelation?
I wish it would translate over here, because it's pretty much a political indoctrination question.
It seems as though there's a magnet and geographical locations where there are, but actually 0.1% of the U.S. population, or 0.01, I'm sorry, of the U.S. population is still a whole lot of fucking people. 0.01%, is that 330,000 people?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I'm inside the Overton window of that one, right? It could be 280,000 people.
Yeah, you may be off by a decimal point, but that's about it.
Am I off by? So it's 33,000 people.
Either way.
Somewhere in there. You know what? That's fair enough in a nation this big. All right, so that's not enough to even like fill a baseball stadium in the country. All right, like Citi Field is 50,000 people. That's a lot more. The Star Trek Year 1 rumors. Let's go with that. You guys want to hear it? Here it is. It's a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Because they have the Nightmare cast assembled, and because they're going to try to build up to it. And remember, this is an Alex Kurtzman build up, which means it will be very bad and very failed. They're going to try to build up to a Star Trek Year 1 build up, where at the end of Strange New Worlds, what happens is like Captain Pike's like, "The ship is yours, Captain Kirk." And their jackass fake Kirk, who, like, as fake Kirk goes, is my least favorite fake Kirk. Paul Wellesley is my least favorite fake Kirk. How about you, Germ?
There is only one Kirk.
Right, but there are fake Kirks. Chris Pine is like, okay, he likes us. He took the responsibility of being Captain Kirk very seriously. His movies were terrible, and he was the one who said he'll never do them again. So, like, I kind of like Chris Pine as a person. I don't know about you.
He's okay. He realized he was not in a good situation, and he did everything when the opportunity came to get the hell out of there.
His contract had overstayed its welcome. He didn't want to do it. They were willing to go forward with anyone else. They didn't care about legitimacy. They were just as much a bunch of frauds as the people doing on the TV side. J.J. Abrams cannot get a movie to save his life. His movie comes out in October, his last shot. Please don't go see it. I'm not going to. I call for a boycott of J.J. Abrams movies. He's made enough movies. And West is saying hi to Sig. Sig is saying good evening to West. Julio says, thanks to flag of the German Empire, 1871 to 1919. I knew that. See, I had that one. And Admiral, am I up for talking about Afro Man? Afro Man, I got versed on today. Afro Man was served with a false police warrant by mistake. There was a technicality. The cops were dicks to Afro Man. Afro Man didn't take liking to the way the cops treated him. Then Afro Man took the cops to court because he had made 3 full records about what dicks the cops were, including one album that was only about like one cop and how much he was fucking the guy's wife. And the guy messed up on the stand, giving Afro Man a non-0% chance that what he said was true, destroying the defamation case, which is hard to prove anyway. Afro Man wins hand over fist on freedom of speech. 1, I haven't heard the music, but 2, since I love the suit, I'll check him out. 3, I love it for freedom of speech. 4, police need to get those warrants right. Germ, what's your thought on the Afro Man situation?
From what I understand, it was they had a semi-legitimate, like someone basically swatted him, or an old girlfriend,
right,
made a report against him, and they were there for that. The police were jackasses. Afro Man, well, he was Afro Man, and obviously there was some problems there. They got pissed off.
There may be no heroes here except freedom of speech, right? Like Afro Man screaming at the cops, cops screaming at Afro Man, everything getting out of control at the scene.
Let's say Afro Man, I'm thinking he won because he's not the one who brought the suit. He wasn't trying to get anything off of them except for publicity. So
good for Afro Man.
Yeah, because I saw some of that. He couldn't come up with a solid number to save his life about how much cash was in that suit. So just thank God that the police were stretching on the defamation thing.
So maybe it was just about an apology and a withdrawal of the suit. Good luck to Afro, man. You shouldn't be slandered. At the same time, fault falls on Joe Biden and the Biden anti-crime bill and things like no-knock warrants. Otherwise, they would have gone there in uniform and knocked on the door.
Yeah.
A 1972 mistake. I think it's more like 0.0001% instead, Admiral Teague. Well, the number took a major fall, an entire percentage point from 1.1 to 0.1. So, I mean, that is huge. I mean, it is to 0.1, right? It's 0.1% down from 1.1. So everybody's admitting that this is not an elective coalition. This is not any kind of thing that needs to be catered to, and that Star Trek is not representing much of anything. So that's what's going on. NuTrek Year 1 was a Kurtzman threat and a Kurtzman bring down and a Kurtzman attempt to get more money out of Paramount. Maybe he thinks they'll pay him to shut up. Let's talk about Kurtzman Trek Year 1. It would be Paul Wellesley and Ethan Phillips. First of all, is Ethan Phillips even under contract, and would he do it? We don't know. We don't even know. I would tend to think he has greener pastures. He showed talent singing and dancing in their shit singing and dancing show. And he showed some talent acting when they had a serious show for 10 seconds of episode 1 when they let him act. And it was okay. So he might have some talent, but everyone else, I think that like they're not going to get Zachary. They're not going to get Ethan Phillips back. What do you think?
No, I don't think they're going to get any of them back no matter what they offer them, because at this point they know they're not good for it.
It's all a lie. The industrial entertainment complex that pisses on us daily on the corpse of pop culture, says Sigvaldason. Well, yeah, they have been doing that for a long time. We've been caught up in this super long loop. What happened was like about if a trend is 5 years, we've had 3 trend cycles go through without people adjusting. And now this last trend cycle is kind of coming to an end as we get to the last half of the last like gasp of this trend. And the trends were shorter and shorter because the movies were such low quality. They rolled it out slowly, but once they went all woke at the end of that Avengers Endgame Part 2, it's been downhill for Marvel. It's been downhill for Disney. It's been downhill for Star Trek. No one wants this entertainment anymore. We've now had 16 years, 17 years since Trek 09. The new audience is not going to show up. That's 5 generations of fans, give or take. That's like 6 cycles through high school since Trek 09. Your 9th graders from Trek 09 now have kids. They're 29 years old.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. But I do believe they're in for Star Trek Year 1. They may convert that final batch of episodes for Strange New Worlds into would-be pilot.
Be prepared for 4 or 5 episodes of that anyway. Yeah, be prepared for that. They're not going to end this cleanly. If they ended cleanly for their other borrowed characters, they'll do it by sullying the characters we like and look for a desperate attempt to sabotage Enterprise on the way out. What do you think, Germ?
Definitely.
They know that's the threat.
Yeah, Kurtzman is a very spiteful man. And
very spiteful in our opinion.
Man,
yes.
Very loosely.
Yeah, our opinion again. But yeah. Speak your mind. I'll do the disclaiming. I'll disclaim it. Don't worry. Just keep going.
He is going to try to sabotage whatever he sees as trying to replace him.
I believe that too. No Shatner, no Star Trek, or something else that I think might be kind of true, because once he dies in Generations, it takes Scott Bakula and a new TV show for us to get excited about it again. Deep Space Nine is already around. It's pretty good. Voyager flounders its way to being good in the middle and has a kind of a bad clipped ending there. It's not the worst show. I like Voyager a little more than Deep Space Nine. I don't know if Germ hates me for that, but I do know that Germ thinks that Deep Space Nine is a much better show than Voyager. We both agree Deep Space Nine has a better captain. I like the fun of Star Trek that we have more in Voyager. Is that fair enough to say?
Yeah, it's a fair opinion.
And that Deep Space Nine, like, here's the thing. I can jump into Voyager episodically the way I can any Star Trek. Deep Space Nine, that is like, you will still get enough episodicness to enjoy yourself, but there's too many deeply woven plot threads that you either won't get or have to be paying attention to. A linear view is important before you could ever jump in. After season 3.
Yeah.
Seasons 1 and 2 don't really have a lot of cohesion and interconnectivity. They world build a lot.
There are
Remember
certain
that?
Once you get to season 3, there are certain keystone episodes you need to see for Deep Space Nine. But
and we get Worf and the Defiant.
Yeah.
Chris Pine was sort of good. I agree, Sig Volderson. Like, he tried. Like, William, at that point, William Shatner was like, what am I gonna do? You know? He didn't have like any animosity towards it, and I think was playing Denny Crane when the Star Trek thing starts. So it's just like, I'm successful in other stuff. I don't care. And he's always been really gracious to other actors who played the role, at least publicly. I don't know. The only person I ever heard about him being mean to in Hollywood was Wesley, to which I say, awesome. It's one of the best things that's happened to our nation for a minute. Would that be putting Sydney Sweeney up, or would that be the fact that we're not going to get any more Kurtzman track? I think the fact that there's no Kurtzman track in production is great. Carl Urban was the standout in the cast. It's a little hard not to resent him for being the glue that made that movie fly, because without him, that first movie would have been obviously trash. They did smoke and mirrors for that whole movie.
Yeah, but not really going to turn down a role in Star Trek, especially
he didn't
being
know it was going to be terrible.
Like he is. Yeah, he didn't know what he was getting into.
A lot of people like Vic Mignogne's performance as Kirk. Star Trek continues. A lot of people like it. We will watch it in order when we get there. Why not? According to Script Doctor, JJ's in director's jail. You heard it here first, but I agree with Script, unless he said it a long time ago. You could tell his last 3 projects have been director's jail projects. It's like, since Rise of Skywalker, that was just a disaster. All right. And maybe he was going to escape the blame for that, but then something else didn't really work out. And then the first, like, Germ and I think have watched 100% of the things that came out from JJ, because, like, I watched the other one. You watch Batman Cape Crusader. You tell people what JJ and Matt Reeves did with Batman.
Well, I think it's summed up by what they do to the Penguin. The Penguin.
Oh.
She is of regular height, overweight.
Guys love her. Guys can't get enough of her. They're ogling all over her. They're falling over each other for the Penguin.
You'd think she was Poison Ivy, by the way.
She has the greatest plan ever. No one can figure out how she's doing it. Who is the mad bomber blowing up parts of the city? It is, believe it or not, in a casino gambling boat with a gun deck. Of all people, the motherfucking Penguin, while people are gambling below. This is the most retarded plot ever. And the Penguin is fat as shit. Like, what was your favorite part of the Batman Cape Crusader? The Firefly episode?
None of the stories really stood out to me. Is the art was very good, because all the art was from the artist from the first show.
But there were 2 substantial changes. Ortega was changed to a big fat woman, and Alfred was a big fat mess, wasn't he?
Yeah, somehow Ortega and Bullock fused together.
Became the same guy, yeah. They became the same fucking person. Watch her turned into a lesbian by the end of the series, but they were going with all their usual stuff.
I will defend them on that. The New 52 did that before them.
Well, let's just face it, no one wanted those stories from the New 52, did they?
That's why it was the shortest iteration of DC Comics.
Wallace Lang, backing up what I said, Ethan Phillips has actual talent. Before I met him once at a convention years ago. Ethan Phillips does have talent. We loved him in Critters, and we thought he was a good actor. It's just that no one can be Neelix and do any good. Hello, buddy. Don't want another Enterprise reboot, says Sig Valdeson. Here's the thing, Sig. Like, it would end NuTrek in a fairly authoritative way. It's an established character. We feel we can count on Scott. I don't think he would be in something bad. We also feel that we can trust Mike Sussman. Mike Sussman has come here among us to plead his case for the show. I am going to contact him this week. I promised I would do it this week. Might as well. We're stepping away from it's Thursday. You know what? Next Monday. Because we're stepping away from Enterprise to do a William Shatner show this weekend. But I have confidence that even though people don't really necessarily want another Enterprise sequel show, a lot of the things that made Enterprise kind of bad had been worked out and purged out by season 4. Season 1 better than season 2, season 3 better than season 2, season 4 better than season 3, but season 3 pretty darn good, season 4 very inventive. You want to talk about Enterprise if it comes back as a sequel for Star Trek United? What do you think?
I think it has potential. As long as they're not doing a full series, I would like to see a miniseries or like a movie special just to help pull everything together and basically just be a apology that we're sorry for the last 2 decades.
A 90-minute enjoyable Scott Bakula tale with a little bit of action, some Romulan war space stuff that's better than this Kurtzman Trek special effects nonsense garbage. And then we already care about Archer. We already like him. We already care about the other people from the show. We already like them. Use the temporal Cold War. Give us back Trip Tucker. And please, just have the show be good. The show doesn't have to be the most world-shattering, expensive show ever, as long as it's not terrible, it makes sense, and it buys time away from Kurtzman Trek while rebuilding some goodwill and ending the damage. Scott Bakula just showing up saying he thought this was a great idea created a stir. We underestimated how popular he is as a captain.
He's very popular, not just for Enterprise, for Quantum Leap as well.
Yes,
he's always had a good reputation among fans. He's always had a good reputation because he's never really been that bombastic.
He's very likable. He's very likable when William Shatner interviews him. He's full of happiness. He's just an upbeat guy. He's doing what he chose in life. And you know what? Let's take the metaphor, okay? Archer is from New York. Admiral Teague is from New York, okay? Star Trek is broken, and only a man from New York can fix it. We have seen that this has been proven out before. Germ, have you seen something broken fixed by a man from New York?
Yeah, once or twice.
Star Trek is broken, and I alone can fix it. It has fallen to me. I will fix Star Trek. At least I will rally the fans and give us hope. I think that a future that starts with a destupidification and a stabilization and some distance with a quality story about characters we care about might not be the most fantastic Star Trek. But as we get the original writers re-involved, get the brain trust together, offer some money for a script for Seth MacFarlane, who loves Star Trek. Maybe get some Orville writers over here. There are people who were developed. There are people who wrote The Expanse who might be able to help out with Star Trek. We have the ability with Sussman to have a new Star Trek main television creator who is a man of the people who cares what we think. If it doesn't work out, we'll say it. We're not going to rubber stamp Star Trek United just because the guy has come here and said to us, that he likes our show and he likes that we celebrate his show. But we will say this: is that not a positive sign that he's not going to? He's not making a show for the right people. How incorrect were we? How we were being, like high school humor. We were having a ton of fun, and he had no problem saying hello. He had no problem having exchange with the other fans, and he had no problem talking to us, and he validated it was him on X with no problem. He couldn't have been nicer to his fans, could he?
No, he was far more engaging than any of these other creators have really ever been throughout this whole NuTrek era.
He was very nice. And by the way, don't worry about Kurtzman getting his hands on this one. He specifically rejected this pitch, leaving it with 100% ownership with Sussman. Sussman owns this, and Sussman's trying to, he's got the inside track to be the NuTrek TV creator. And based on his ability in season 4 and season 3, he's shown that he knows the people and has the ability to do streaming TV, because those 2 seasons very much feel like streaming. Germ, feelings on him as a streaming writer?
Yeah, I think he really by accident fell into the rhythm that streaming does now. Maybe 10 years before it even came around.
Yeah, this guy could write streaming. Like these people are ready to do this. We should give them their chance. If they make their 90-minute movie that's open-ended enough but still has an episodic-like closing the way they did in some of their episodes of Enterprise, we could pick it up again or not. We love all of these characters from watching them. Really, there is no Neelix on Enterprise, is there?
No.
It's Pride Weather's as bad as it gets. And he simply is just not a great actor.
Oh, that's what you get when you hire an underwear model.
Every other underwear model worked out. Trip worked out. Jolene worked out. But yes. Voyager, says Fig Valdeson. I agree. The 33s, is that called? I stopped watching after the Amelia Earhart episode and watched again for the last season. It was far better after the last season. It was far better than I had previously seen. Yeah, after the one with the Amelia Earhart, things still stay bad for quite some time. But as they try to move Cass into the background, as they keep trying to change her, good episodes start to slip through the vest, would be the way to put it. Germ?
Yeah, you've got the perfect timing. You got the first season and the last season, that middle 5 seasons where really it kind of gets a little bit silly.
And the good stuff is there, but it's like 2 bad episodes, 1 good one, 2 bad episodes, 1 good one. And the only good thing about Voyager was with most, but not all, of their bad episodes, they did something unseen on Deep Space Nine. They turned a bad episode around and had it be funny, at least. Like, for instance, the Deep Space Nine episodes that don't work, well, they just don't work like any other TV. TNG episodes that didn't work, they were accidentally funny and still just as much fun to watch. Remember that? Remember how that was?
Yeah. Voyager, they do that occasionally with the bad episodes.
They know when it's going bad. After Tuvix, they realized that they can't go too high dramatically. Tuvix was a watershed moment.
They get some pretty wacko ideas, but they show the ability to recover. Because later on they have they create this Irish town on the holodeck.
That was too much.
Yeah, and they know they messed up on that, and they thankfully corrected course.
The best holodeck story, the one that they did that was really good, was I would have to say, well, not the ghost on the holodeck, but the one that could have wrecked up very easily. And sometimes, like, there are entire seasons that were saved because there was one more Captain Proton episode than we needed that was just better than the other episodes. Am I right? Captain Proton had to happen to that show.
Yeah, it was good comic relief.
It was almost insufferable. Okay, let's see how fast I can catch up. TNG was a decent series. After that, shrug. I like Enterprise. I like Voyager. I like Deep Space Nine. I understand people can nitpick them though. You're allowed to have your preference. You don't think TNG aged well? I would say this: the proportion of episodes that were funny, they were funny the first time you saw them. The joke's over now. Like those episodes are now not so great. The episodes that you thought were worse than others are better than you thought. Those first two episodes, first two seasons of episodes. Season 2 does drag, but season 1, a lot of great stuff. Germ?
Yeah, season 1 is definitely not as bad as people like to say it is. 2, definitely some episodes that drag, but only 1 or 2 unforgivable ones. The clip show being chiefly among them.
If we're this far behind, I guess I have to keep up the speed limit. Just to make clear, I'm not sure on this one. The female penguin was voiced by Minnie Driver. I don't know who the lady on the Penguin show was. I don't have that service right now, and I didn't watch Penguin.
That's more related to the Batman
Penguin
movie.
Right. The Penguin show was just a ploy to get a second Batman movie, and we still don't know if that's going to happen. I don't really care if I see Pattinson again. And thank you again for Buddy Hepburn for a great job of modding. Sig says hi to Buddy. Buddy didn't watch the Penguin either. Headcase is saying hi to Buddy. Jamie Lee Simmons is in on this one. Christian Melody. I'm not sure who she is.
And neither am I.
Oh, that might be the Penguin chick. I'm going to guess it's the Penguin chick. Kind of sick of prequels, though. The Enterprise prequel, it's not too prequel-esque, and it comes from the people who did... I don't think there was another prequel before Enterprise. I can't think of another prequel.
It does depend heavily on it not being a full series. Just let it be like a legacy type episode and a launching pad for something like an anthology set of movies until they get to a new launch era.
I agree with that, but I think that you could do a TV series of 26 episodes good enough for regular TV if you wanted to go that path too. Just don't stream.
Too much, I believe.
That's out of reach, right?
Yeah, that's overexposure for it. 90-minute movie per era, working up to a new era.
I agree. A Crime Problem by Rudy Giuliani. Yeah, what he was the thing it did. No one ever says that about about Jeb Bush. There was a nationwide drop in crime. I don't know if we can really give Giuliani credit for that one, but he did unleash the police. He did do a good job. Like he was a good he was a good mayor for backing the cops. Whatever else you want to say about him. Germ, do you enjoy reading interviews with Rudy's daughter?
I try not to.
Oh, what a weirdo. You watched Voyager up on after Frasier. That's a good combination, although it's a strange mixture of tones. Although I guess Voyager was accidentally funny a lot of the time too, although it is a good show. I do like the fun of Voyager. Fun's part of Voyager, and I'll make an admission. I've made this one before on this show. Sometimes in Voyager, Germ, tell me I'm not wrong. On Voyager, it is such a powerful opening theme song that it will power you through a not so great second segment while you figure out what's going on. Like you're enthused, and if the opening segment works, once the theme song kicks in, they can lock you in with that because it's so good. It's so Star Trek. It's so beautifully played.
It is a very good intro. It made up for a lot of mistakes they made in the first two segments.
Maybe Jerry Gold's... go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, on a lot of occasions, that opener was a bit off. You're willing to let it go because it's such a good intro, and you forgot the intro and say, okay, let's give this a go.
There's a couple of botched opens here and there that we get past. I still think the Threshold is peak hilarious, accidentally funny Star Trek, except for her conversation with Paris in the sickbay. Ensign Suter episodes, okay. Brad Dourif is a great actor. Yeah, Grima Wormtongue is like a crewman. Although, like, a Janeway's solution of putting murderers in their rooms until we get back to Earth was not great. I started liking the doctor that took Beverly Crusher's place. Dr. Pulaski's in a lot of interesting episodes and was great for character development. She was used as a female Bones to temper the other characters and bond them together before she left. It worked out pretty well for everyone, including her, who needed a paycheck. It was great.
Yeah.
Great thing for fans.
The only problem was it was basically bringing them all together against her. So
it was unfortunate. She didn't get the best treatment. The thing is, she was a marquee star bigger than Star Trek who did it as a favor for Gene.
Yeah.
She was already signed on when Gene died. She did it anyway. She honored her commitment. She was in great original Star Trek. She loved and cared about Star Trek, and she did not back off playing that unlikable character. So you know what? The other actors didn't like her, but like she didn't give a fuck, and she went on to be successful. She was coming off L.A. Law. She made some extra money, and she didn't compromise on her craft. She was like, I don't like this character. I'm going to play it differently. And they're like, well, this actor, after being with the franchise for 20 years and being in original episodes and also having been, successful on their own, they're going to get some latitude, and they deserved it. It's not like the Alex Kurtzman where he's like, I'm a fun director. I let the actors be themselves. That's a passive aggressive dodge of the responsibility of having it just suck. I did not see Penguin. Part of it was filmed in New York. I saw the sets down by the Brooklyn Navy Yard. It was pretty cool. HBO Max changed the name back to HBO, but yes, the Penguin series was better than the Batman movie, everyone told me. What did you think, Jeremy? Did you see the Penguin series?
I did not see the Penguin series. From what little I could stand of that Batman movie,
yeah.
We can do without sparkling vampire crackhead Batman.
Yeah, I think that the part where he said he was pretending to be on drugs went in the cutting room floor because he was like a drug addict. TNG, says Julio. I would have liked to see a few more episodes with Jellicoe at the helm. Ronnie Cox was great in the role. What would have been better is Dominion War extended role for Captain Jellicoe, and he should have been an admiral by then. What do you think?
That would have been nice, yeah.
Was Broken Windows Rudy, or was Broken Windows the name of Broken Windows? I thought was de Blasio. I think Rudy was Stop and Frisk.
No, Broken Windows was Giuliani.
So Stop and Frisk is de Blasio. We never knew how good we had it with the communist William Wilhelm, did we? Oh, Warren Wilhelm, did we, Germ?
I guess not.
I definitely would check out the Penguin show. It's just that I don't know if they get their movie green-lighted, I'll watch the Penguin show. How's that? You know what I mean? If that movie happens, but they have to start making it because those guys lie all the time about making movies. Matt Reeves is a bad filmmaker, and you know who else is really fucking horrible is Damon Lindelof. It was too bad behind the scenes. It didn't work out. But the thing was that tension did help charge up those episodes. And then they got Gates McFadden back. And I don't mind seeing her walk around looking beautiful. And she seemed chastened by the fact that they went overtime with her in the Hunt for an October movie. And then they still cut most of her scenes. So she had to come and touch the fact that she was a dancer, not an actor. And Dr. Crusher's acting is a lot better after season 4. What do you think? It takes her a while.
Yeah, when she gets back from that year off, she seems a lot more dedicated to it.
She's been taking acting lessons and she got chewed out by a real director. I knew Batman wasn't in it. They didn't have the rights to Batman. They licensed just the Penguin for that one. It was a sales pitch for the Batman movie. So if the canon goes somewhere, I'll watch it. If it's on, I'm not going to turn it off. But unfortunately for me, I have a lot of TV watching to do. I have to watch 2 Yellowstone shows. I have to watch 2 Star Trek shows. Well, now it's down to 1 Star Trek show for a few weeks. And I have, thank God, Miami Vice to keep me sane and Enterprise to keep me sane. But I do a lot of watching hours, and I do a lot of re-listening because I'm going to start trying to make 10-minute outtakes from some of the conversations from now on and be a little more disciplined about structuring the reviews. And even if the show goes longer, getting the review done in 3 hours, it has to be a little more cohesive. It's still supposed to be a 3-hour show. I realized the show before was 4. If it happens, it happens. But like 4 hours has to be seen as the outside. And 5 hours, this new Trek has destroyed our minds. When 5 hours happens, the Admiral has a SETI eel in his brain. I mean, I think we all agree, right? Jamie agrees.
Yeah, the 5 hours is just way too long.
Thank you,
Especially on
Headcase.
NuTrek.
I wanted to do a good job this time because there's a lot of times, especially up front, where I find that if I don't set the mood, I mean, it's great when everyone's here. If I say hi too soon or too late, it's like there's a sweet spot around 5 to 7 minutes to say hi to everybody. Get the conversation going, build things up with Germ and say hi. With Germ, it's a different energy. When I'm solo, I just have to go out there and bite the head right off that fucking bat. Am I right?
Yeah, you have to pretty much steamroll through it when you're going solo.
You have no real choice, although pacing is still really important. The problem with going solo is that it really is more natural, even if it's just for validation or a counterpoint, to have Germ here to take a moment so that I can sip some water or just like crack my neck or do a technical thing. And also, like, he brings his perspective. What I like about streaming with Germ is that he never compromises his perspective to accommodate me. And also, when I give him Politburo speeches to read about how great I am, he will read them, but like the way he reads them makes it clear that he doesn't believe it at all and heightens the joke, I would say. I really like that last speech where you told me I was doing a tremendous job.
Yeah, I thought it was a good read through.
It was fun. Yeah, no, I thought your delivery was perfect. I'm writing one for everyone this week when we talk about how only William Shatner has done more to save Star Trek than I have. That will be
put a little bit of legitimacy on that.
It actually, you know what? Maybe we can. And you know what would be funny is we could have everybody just saying how good I am, like at Saving Star Trek, and we could cut, since it's news footage, I could cut to Saddam with the cigar, just nodding his head while all those guys were applauding, trying to please him to stop the counter coup. Remember that like famous Saddam moment?
Oh yeah, we can do that, or we can talk up Bill Shatner a lot, and well, go watch the roast of Bill Shatner. You'll get a good preview of what we're going to try to do.
Yeah, you know what? Overlord DVD has said J.J. Abrams is a cinematic antichrist, and Critical Drinker has said he feels kind of bad for him. I think I agree more with Overlord. He sullied Star Trek on purpose. With Star Wars, it's only the last movie where all of his nefarious, underhanded chicanery bullshit and like loudmouth nonsense caught up to him. There really might be a case that as bad as Last Jedi was, Rian Johnson simply reverse trolled him for giving him nothing to work with. Was there anything in Force Awakens to build on? I didn't think so.
Well, there originally wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be a beat-for-beat copy of A New Hope.
It was a very bad maudlin copy of A New Hope, as though someone had said, like, this episode of Stranger Things, everyone gets dressed up in Star Wars outfits.
Yeah, but I don't believe he was really the chief behind several of the points in Force Awakens. I believe he picked the brain of. Oh yeah, he definitely accepted credit. But originally, I believe he picked the brain of George Lucas and a few other people to basically get the outline for it, and then
he hired Chris Terrio.
Yeah, whoever was in charge says, "Oh no, we want Ray to be the hero." Because I don't
Ray was
believe he
always going to be
actually.
the hero.
I don't believe JJ actually ever really did any work in his life until we got to the Rise of Skywalker.
No, I don't believe it either. But he did change Uhura to the central focus of Star Trek. So, like Ray there was always going to be a hero like Ray. The moment JJ was hired because they already knew they had Ray. He might have named her, but she was already Kathleen Kennedy knew what she wanted. Let's see how our poll went. We had an amazing show tonight. Wow, you guys really hung in there. Germ, how are you fixed for time? We got time to finish up this poll and certify it before we get out of here.
Yeah, I got a few minutes.
All right. We'll loosen it up just a moment then. Which will last longer? Vote now or forever hold your peace with 22 votes. Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Romaine. Germ, we have a tie. Rebecca Romaine and Iran refusing to surrender are tied with the possibility of how long they could last. Does that mean like 0 to 60 weeks? Iran and Rebecca Romaine have something in common. There are fanatical extremists who don't care about the other people. Correct? She's just like the government of Iran that way. If what we heard on Bill Maher is true. She is a female Ayatollah and she's got a lot of venom in her, and she would beat up her husband if things don't go her way.
Poor Jerry.
If they made a Daisy Ridley movie, people are already too frustrated with her to save the character. But if it was a good movie, I mean, people would be like maybe seeing it in rental and other things like that. Ray is not going to get people to surge to the movie on her first good movie. She's going to need to have another movie positively reviewed from fandom menace sources before people go, I think. Germ, what do you think? The first good, if there is a good Ray movie in the making, and I don't think there is, we're not going to get there with right now. People are not going to go to the movies for the first competently made Ray Star Wars movie. What do you think?
Oh no, it'd have to be 2 or 3 in to completely rehabilitate that character if it's even possible.
She's going to jump through time into the Grogu and Mandalorian. I've watched the video 765874 Unification, and since I reject the Generations movie as utter garbage, I believe that Kirk arrived to be with Spock when Spock was passing away. It starts the Generations movie, but what happens is Gary Mitchell wishes him away without the Nexus, but the Nexus somehow is involved in it. So you only have to believe in Generations up to the part where Shatner falls into the Nexus. The rest of it could all be a dream. I believe that the Nexus plot device negates all TNG movies, and I don't know too many people who even want to argue that, because like, if people want to argue, no, you're so wrong to say that. My rejoinder is Star Trek indigestion, sirs. How great would it be to be able to say it doesn't exist?
I wish it could, but they really didn't put any thought into those last 2. Those were utter and complete garbage.
I've never heard it put quite that way before, and I've never heard it put quite this way by Buddy, but Buddy has really turning a good phrase here. They destroyed Luke, dropped the Ray backstory. Maz, which is Maz Kanata, the little orange person, having Luke's lightsaber. They never explained that. A good story for another time. Poe became Potsy and Finn became Ralph Malph. That's probably true. And like, what do we have? An insufferable version of Joni as our lead character? God, Richie Cunningham went away to join his brother in the army. It was like a Fonzie list, and Cunningham was like season of Happy Days, and I think we did have one of those. Poe became Potsy. He's got Julio Scissors laughing. The Gosling Star Wars flick may have a chance. That movie might have a chance, but the thing is, it won't change the fate of Star Wars. The thing that would change the fate of Star Wars would be make money with a Cara Dune movie and release that with a good story and be fulsome about it. And don't have her be too much of a girl boss, even though it's Cara Dune. Dial down everything and give us someone we like. Only way it's going to work to get a Star Wars movie out of the box. This could be mission creep on The Mandalorian because I believe that she will have to be in the movie based on the lawsuit she won that is undisclosed. It makes sense she would get 1 year's salary and get to reprise her character in the movie to repair reputational damage. That stands up, and that's my prediction. Germ, what do you think? 1 year's pay and a role in the movie about the size of the role in the TV show?
Yeah, I'd like to believe that.
Do you think that something like Katie Sackhoff saying I won't be in the scenes with her and Pedro Pascal saying I won't act with her and them saying we have nothing now but a Gina Carano movie would accidentally make it the Mandalorian and Gina would be the biggest fucking movie they ever made as Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, they may accident their way into something big.
Buddy Hepburn's right. She doesn't have a lead character energy. If you love Daisy Ridley, it's cool. Like, I don't have anything against you. I loved her in Toast of London, and I will give her a movie where she's like, what is it, the cleaner? The wiper, whatever, the glass cleaner movie. I'll give it a chance. I think that she can act, but I just don't think that she's been in a movie that's shown it to us yet. Like when she uses the Force to a greater extent than anyone else ever used it, and then makes a joke about how stupid the Force is in Last Jedi. What did you think of levitating rocks? Great joke, huh?
Yeah, hilarious.
When the Millennium Falcon drops out of orbit and she takes a fucking first shot ever with the backup cannons and gets a quadruple kill. What did you think of that? Just trolling us, right?
It had to be.
And they sent 7 TIE fighters to support their ground assault. Okay. Great fucking... Where's the resources always been for the First Order? What's going on with resource allocation for the First Order?
They're all on union mandated break. Let's face it, they're British. Not going to get a lot of hard work out of them.
Sir, we need our tea, sir. We must have our tea. We can't continue this without tea, sir. All right. It won't show my emojis in the chat. At this point, it's a regional thing or possibly device-oriented is my best guess. Jamie Lynn Simmons. I like her. I like her style. Just not where you need someone with a lot of charisma. I watched Chaos Walking today on Sci-Fi, and she was frustrating for me. I would say this. She's still inaccessible in most of the roles that we've seen her in because they have not done a good job of coming up with something that Daisy Ridley is good at. Beating down guys, she's just too small. Force user, they didn't develop it well. That movie could be summed up by Daniel Craig decided to be a stormtrooper and uses American accent so we wouldn't know it was him. Which stormtrooper's him? Who cares?
Yeah.
I know which one it is.
Torture chamber.
He's the one who he's like, I'll give you back your weapon and leave. His wife was like, you need to be ashamed of yourself for being James Bond. Don't be you for a while. I was like, I'll be someone else for a while, Rachel. Rachel Weisz coming back in The Mummy. What kind of demands is she going to have? We'll leave it off on that thought. Do you think that there's a path of Rachel Weisz and Brendan Fraser coming back to The Mummy? I think yes, but does Rachel Weisz need to be under control? Has she been chastened enough by the failures that she's been in?
Let's face it, this is all about Brendan Fraser. No one really gives a crap about her in this movie.
Don't ruin it, Evie.
Yeah, don't screw it up for Brendan Fraser. People actually like him.
We were able to forgive her for not getting the nose job because she got the boobs made so big. She should remember that when she comes back to act as Evesy and tries to tell us that, you know, some kind of feminist lesson has to be woven in there. We want a fun mummy movie. We got a woke mummy movie. It was called The Mummy by Alex Kurtzman. And like all other Alex Kurtzman stuff, it was garbage. Germ, what's going on in your channel this week? By the way, I want to thank everybody.
Saturday, to celebrate William Shatner's 95th birthday, we are watching Gamesters of Triskelion.
Yes, we are. Pure masculinity there. Pure masculinity, Germ. Just absolutely just oozing with it. Oozing with it. If we could take some of the sweat from Shatner's brow and flick it on Timothy Chalamet, could you imagine how manly he would be? Could you imagine?
He may actually have a detectable testosterone level.
It may go up. So as I look here, I see which will last longer. Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Romane's wedding, marriage, 32%. Iran refuses to surrender, 32%. Like stream, see results. 3, 2, 1. Pause for prawn. And the poll's over. We cannot decide whether Iran will outlast Rebecca Romaine and Jerry O'Connell. I'm going to give it to Iran. How about you?
I think whichever one it is, there'll be a great deal of human suffering involved.
Germ, do you certify these votes as legitimate and therefore say that this motion can carry?
It is certified.
Guys, we love you. Again, your channel this week. I'm sorry. I remember if I stepped on your picture, I got distracted. Tell everyone what you're doing again. They need to hear it twice.
Gamesters of Triskelion, Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Are we going to give Marshalls one more try on Sunday for a watch, or are we going to try something else?
From
the world of Paramount?
No.
TBD
Yeah, we'll try something else.
We'll
TBD
from the world of Paramount.
Yeah, Marshalls just isn't worth it.
Should we go back and look at another show that we've already done? Should we take a second view at 1883 so we can have coherent reviews and I can unlist the watch parties?
Yeah, we can try that.
1883, we might get more insight second time through. Maybe an 1883 watch party with a discussion later by us would be better. We could do it faster too because we've already seen it. We'll get back to you on the TBD world of Paramount, but I would say, happy birthday to Kirk. Yes, that's why we are doing the William Shatner special and breaking from Enterprise for 1 week. I respect that. Headcase respects it. He did watch the first episode like us, and he felt the same way. I guess we're talking about Marshalls. Yeah, Marshalls in the middle of episode 2 really runs out of steam, which is a huge, huge difference from the Madison, which starts with no steam. That is the most boring fucking wrinkly old cock story I've ever heard in my goddamn life. I don't care where Kurt Russell's wrinkly old cock is going, and I don't care about Michelle Pfeiffer hallucinating or dreaming about him. I don't care about fucking fly fishing. And in a show where everything's always brutal, from a creator where he's always very real and brutal, why is it always why do they take pains to show catch and release fishing? Right? It's just everything about that. The Madison is very un-Taylor Sheridan. Did you try to watch any of it? Oh, that's right. You did make it up, but you didn't even get to the plane crash.
Yeah, I don't even think I made it to the point where Kurt Russell died.
His life was in, we didn't know if he was alive, but you didn't make it to them telling her. You didn't care anymore. You saw that it was ah! And then they cut the commercial or whatever. And when we come back, she's being a rich asshole again. And thoroughly unlikable characters all the way through. I can't see them turning it around. Sigvoldson says, sounds like the show is rounding down. Thanks, Admiral and Resolute Germ. Thanks to everyone that made the show. Praise our Eldritch God and rest well. Well, there are some more people that need to be praised because I want to say thank you to everyone. And Saving Star Trek is brought to you by Star Trek fans like the great Sigvoldson and like our good friend Ruby Hoove. You know what? I didn't sing it before. Maybe she's still listening. Goodbye, Ruby Hoove 9. Thank you for the memberships and memberhood when you change to come around on Thursday. Still, we're gonna appreciate you. I don't know. It didn't rhyme, but it was time to do a little song to end out the show. I've heard Singing and Dancing is back on Thursdays. Tony is back live. The retirement's over. He's back on the air. Enjoy that one. So Sig Valderson, thank you very much for the very generous chats, and Wes Cagle. So Saving Star Trek is brought to you. I'm sorry. Paramount this week and Admiral Teague Streaming for Vengeance is brought to you by Taylor Sheridan, Gene Roddenberry, The Idiocy of Alex Kurtzman, Sig Valderson, Ruby Hoove, and Wes Cagle. And of course, we're pretty sure that we got somewhere out there a super chat from the Real Head Case. We'll find out. Take a look at the bank app. Let me know what happened. I think that it went through based on the screenshot you showed me. I thank you, and we showed the shot. So thank you, everybody. We love you. There's Germ's channel. You should go there for the watch parties that precede the Enterprise shows. I'm usually there, and I'm usually there on time, which has been weird lately. I've been showing up on time places. And you know why that is?
Because I can.
We love you all. I have a funny feeling that the Admiral will be back Friday afternoon to hang out with all of you in a show that just, hey, what can I tell you? Sometimes shows have to happen. Here we go. Let's watch Sydney Sweetie take a dance for you. Let's get cool ask in the comments. Buddy's right. Thank you. I wish it could be saved. Maybe by watching the past shows, we can relive the glory days. We're going to try to do both. We're never giving up on Star Trek. I will never give up on Star Trek. They will take this phaser from my cold, dead fingers, and I love you all. Sydney!